So Jordan Peterson went on Jubilee with 20 atheists and really just shown who he is. He has no beliefs, he can't answer basic questions, and he gets angry over quite basic hypotheticals. So let's get straight into the video.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I guess since you said morality and purpose cannot be found in science, it would just depend on like what you're referencing. If you're saying a description of your psychological preferences would be considered within science, sure. But I don't think that you have to say that it comes from science in order to be like an atheist. As an agnostic atheist, I don't know if God exists and I don't believe that a God exists. And the only ones that I would really reject would be like the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good, perfect notion of God that plenty of Christians like prescribe themselves. So I guess
How is that relevant to this claim?
you're basing a position of morality and purpose in some like notion of God that isn't the same type of notion of God that typical Christians would prescribe. Your notion of God is
What typical Christians?
yeah, typically when I talk to Christians, they say that they believe in an
How
all-knowing.
about Cardinal Newman, who defined God as conscience? He was a major influence on all of Catholic social theory. How about that Christian?
Sure. So do you believe in the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good notion of God?
What do you mean by believe?
Do you think it to be true?
That's the circular definition. What do you mean
How
when
is
you
that
say you
circular?
believe?
They always say this, like when they can't answer a question, they always say that, like, what's a woman? Well, anyone who identifies as a woman. And they go, oh, that's the no, that's the definition of. Oh, he's cooked.
Believe?
How is that circular?
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true and believe.
I said you think it to be true.
All right. So if
What's
you
a belief?
believe something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
You live for it and you die for it. That's what I mean by that. It isn't something that you say. It isn't something that's associated with logical consistency. It's not declarative. It's
Definitely not logical consistency with Jordan here.
not propositional. It's not a figment of your imagination. It's the presupposition of your attention and your action. And you're either fragmented, in which case you worship multiple gods, or there's some unity at the bottom of it that makes you an unstoppable force.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
Not really, no.
Okay. So then,
How would you define belief? Something you say?
Can I explain? Like, I could believe it is the case that this pen exists, but if someone like threatened my life, right, I would lie in order to be able to save my life, right? Like, I think you would do that too. You wouldn't lie to save your
Don't be
life?
so sure.
You wouldn't lie to save your life?
What? You wouldn't lie in that situation, Jordan, over a pen? It just shows you how irrational he is. And also, just a note on morality and purpose cannot be found within science. Well, the mother of science is philosophy, and ethics is really about how you should act in the world in terms of like harm and how you treat people and where your barriers are for behavior. That's how people should live their lives. Like, I'm sure Jordan Peterson would agree that we should treat people with respect. We shouldn't harm people. We should maximize well-being. That comes from philosophy. That comes from science. Like, it doesn't come from doctrine and dogma and the word of God. It just doesn't.
How much do you know about me? I didn't lie to save my career. I didn't.
Right, he's really taking that personal. Just a philosophical hypothetical. Like, how much do you know about me? I didn't lie to say, what? What is he saying?
Lie to save my clinical practice.
Would you lie to like save your children, your mom, your dad?
I don't think lying would save them.
No, can there?
What? It could in the situation where you have to lie and it saves them. Like, but this is how he lacks kind of really cognitive ability. It's a hypothetical. If you can't entertain this hypothetical of can lying save people, which obviously it can.
Ever be a circumstance logically that lying could save someone?
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances like that.
What? What does that even mean? If you're living in sin, so you're more likely to lie if you're living in sin? He's never lied. He's never told a white lie or a lie that benefits him, he lies constantly. Like, what is he saying? Like,
I'll give you an example. If you're like in like Nazi Germany, and it is the case that there's like Jewish people in your attic, and you're trying
I
to
know
protect
the
them,
example.
would you lie to like the Nazis? If
I
they're
would have done
asking?
everything I bloody well could, so I wouldn't be in that situation
would you
to
lie?
begin.
what? But you don't choose those situations. 1930s Germany, if you were living in 1930s Germany, okay, so as soon as Jews were being attacked, would you just leave and be like, well, I don't want to risk having to hide a Jew in my attic in case I have to lie. So I'm going to go. And they're like, what? Like, conservatives, I guess.
With. It's a hypothetical, and it's
You
not
can't answer
answerable.
hypotheticals?
What? You can't answer. That's what philosophical thinking is. Like, hypotheticals, like consistency, logic, like being able to think outside of your everyday. Like, oh my God, he's so insufferable.
No, I can't answer a hypothetical like
What?
that because
Did
it's
you eat
far.
today?
Look,
Did you
don't
eat today?
play games.
I'm not playing a game. I'm just
Yes,
asking if
What? How is he playing? Like, insane. Just insane.
you ate it.
if you present me with an intractable moral choice that's stripped of context and you back me into a corner, you're playing game. I just told you.
It's not stripped of context. Like, the context is clear. 1930s Germany. Would you lie to save? And the fact that he can't answer that, I think really says a lot about his morality and just how he doesn't really have morals. Like if you're religious, you don't have morals. You're guided by something else. You're not guided by your own critical thinking. And that's been quite historically dangerous, let's just say.
hypothetical.
I would do everything that I could to make sure that I'm never in that situation. By the time you've got there,
Okay, so yeah, but what if you are in that situation? So you avoided it and now you're in that situation. Would you lie to save? I'm thinking he probably wouldn't. He'd just be like, yeah, they're upstairs.
you've made so many mistakes that there's nothing you can do that isn't a sin.
Being born in Nazi Germany and trying to protect people that you care about, like there could be a Jewish friend that you have, and you want to protect them.
I think you should
have
just
them in
give
your
up on
attic.
that line of questioning.
Give up.
Yeah, he wouldn't have a Jewish friend. What are you talking about? Trump, Freudian slip. Jordan Peterson is a fascist. Like, of course he wouldn't. He doesn't like degeneracy. Like, let's not kind of split hairs on which side he would have been on this. Like he is now. He's a fascist. He's on the wrong side of history. On trans rights, on Israel, on freedom of speech, on critical race theory. He's on the wrong side of history. Like, he would be. It's unequivocal.
On just like trying to clarify your position? Because you
I
don't
did
like, are you like
clarify.
uncomfortable with me asking this question? It's just a basic
course he is.
hypothetical.
Of
Like I
course
could
he is.
ask you.
It's just a basic
yeah, yeah.
hypothetical
Like,
where
like
you
if you-
put Jews' lives at stake.
Yes, it's a hypothetical. It's not real. He's not really putting. It's a.
In Nazi Germany. That's just a basic hypothetical.
Obviously, you would lie in that scenario to save their life, but you're like not trying to answer this question for some reason.
I just told you why.
Are you anti-fascist? Like, so you're.
Oh, a good question. No, of course he's not. He has all the fascist talking points. That's why he can't answer the question. It's so obvious. If he was a normal person who was an anti-fascist, he could answer these questions easily. Be like, yeah, I'd lie, and we'd get. But he can't.
You're
Why are
anti-fascist?
you asking that?
I was just asking.
See, a normal person would be like, of course I'm anti-fascist. I hate fascism. I hate totalitarianism. I hate violence. I hate nationalism. I hate anti-intellectualism. I hate people who, oppose academic freedom. He can't even answer basic questions.
Just clarifying. But like, okay, again, you're not answering this hypothetical because you know it shows that you clearly would lie to save
I'm
someone's life.
answering it in
Obviously,
a
that's
manner
not
you
what truth
don't
is.
find acceptable.
Obviously.
Yeah, because you're not. No, you just can't answer basic questions. It's not acceptable. Yeah, it's cowardly. You're being a coward. You have no values. Obviously, you don't because you're a conservative. But just be honest and be like, yeah. Just be honest. Obviously, fascists are never honest. They will never own their beliefs. But you can extrapolate it from the fact he calls, you know, trans people degenerate. I mean, it's insane.
Because I care about truth.
I wouldn't be in that scenario.
Obviously, right? Logically, because that's
No.
already happened. Like that's in the past. You don't have a time travel device. We're bringing this logical.
Where's he get that from? Like, he wouldn't be in that situation. How would he not? Like, you don't choose the situation of the world you are living in. If you live in a fascist country, I think he lives in America, so he lives in a fascist country. Like, and if he was deported illegally, which is unlikely to happen, but you know, never say never. Still got 4 years of Trump. Well, 3 years. Like,
Hypothetical up to show you that in some circumstances that do happen within the real world, you would lie to save people's lives. So your definition of truth isn't actually how we're typically using it. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to muddy the waters when I ask you, like, do you believe this? Do you think this to be true? So you don't actually have to answer the questions. And plenty of Christians don't like that because they clearly see that you don't really like want to be associated with
I can
Christianity.
imagine that I was in a situation where the best I could do as a consequence of my previous mistakes was to tell the least amount of lie I could manage. But that would likely indicate that I had made all sorts of catastrophic errors on my way there.
So you would lie to save someone's life. So again, you do believe it to be true in that circumstance, even though you like lied in that scenario. So
Not
clearly
without
that's not
the
what you see to be true.
context that I put it in.
You were not willing to die for it. You
said-
were not willing to let other people die for it. So that's not what you see to be true then, seemingly.
You're doing exactly what I said you were doing at the beginning of the conversation.
see, he's so fragile, Jordan Peterson, and I think on some level he knows he lies constantly. Of course, he's a fascist. He's a conservative. He has no values. You know, he's just in it for the money. He's a grifter. Remember, he said, I shouldn't say this on Joe Rogan, but I found a way to financially benefit from SJWs. It's all grift. That's it. That's what he's been doing for 10 years. He has no values. And he can't even answer a basic question. Would you lie to save the Jews in your attic? Insane. Insane. Jordan Peterson is done. Like, he is a joke. Anybody who likes him now, even conservatives hate him now. Like, I don't know why all of a sudden he's always been this way, but insane. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.